Hello, welcome to the Red Room and to our one day after Valentine special. Valentine special.
Special. Okay, so the first thing is we had a Valentine's contest. Obviously, it was announced yesterday.
Obviously, well, it could have been announced today. Why not?
Because we like to do things on the day that they are supposed to be done. Like this video. It was supposed to have been done yesterday.
It makes no difference, really.
Yeah, no, it makes difference. Okay, so who won this? We had two winners. One was a meme, yeah.
That you can't show because with this.
Yeah.
Well, you can put it when you do some video editing.
I could put it.
It's a nice baboon ass.
Yeah, the baboon ass. This one was the second prize, in spite of being a baboon ass. But
well, we love baboons ass.
Yes, of course.
Or baboons.
So the baboon is a heart-shaped thing that reminds us of drive-through. And then there's a message, a larger message, that was the winner for the first prize, which is
a copy
the
of
physical
Wretched
copy
Man.
of Wretched Man. Yeah. So the poem is: roses are red, drive-through is lame. They never care if it's a good game. They ban all the humor, they ban all the fun. They'll ban you for saying they've banned everyone.
Do you want me to read the rest?
That was what happened to us.
Yes.
Yes, you can read it.
But pull it down.
Rest, yes.
Pussies are pink, drive-through is bitchy. If you sell with them, your crowd will be itchy. They say it's your fault. Your cock oozes pus, resist, and they'll say, I've got enough consent for the both of us. I'm not good at reading poetry.
So this was the first prize. And I'm not going to say the names of the winners because they have
let's keep
Twitter
them
names.
anonymous.
No, that's
I'm
not
joking.
They are already announced, but I can't remember their names, so they're.
They have Twitter aliases that are weird.
Twitter aliases that I can't read and I can't memorize. I could read, but I couldn't memorize, and I'm not going to check it again. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is something that we usually talk about at this time of the year, because romance and sex in RPGs is usually a theme, kind of a controversial one.
That's the title of the video, right?
And that's the title of the video. Yes, I've already titled it before. And I have a feeling that because of some of the controversies that happened when we were still at drive-through, and some of the comments people had made at the time, that we are edgy.
We have a better, but not edgy like Christy Stewart in the cover of
bad edgy.
Rolling Stone.
Yeah, we are bad edgy, not good edgy. Not edgy like lesbians.
30-third
lesbians and queer something. That's queers. Those are edgy good, but we are edgy bad. So I think we should explain yet again, because there are still probably some people that haven't figured it out or understood what we mean about having.
Well, and we don't have romance, because that's something that I was thinking when.
Yeah, but we should talk about that anyway.
We were listening to inappropriate characters last episode. Mm-hmm. They did mention that, and that's what I was thinking at the time. I didn't think I mentioned. Well, yes, we don't really have a lot of romance. We sometimes have sex.
Not
and
really.
I'm talking about yes.
Not really sex.
Sex is mentioned.
The sex is a theme in games. It's a theme, obviously, in Ratchet, but not in the way that we'll immediately think about. Like, this is not
not 5e.
Not 5e, yes, but not just that. It's not 5e in the sense that it's not weird, and it's not that. Corny pseudo-erotic literature. We are not expecting you to come to a game and to describe what you are doing with someone else. Like, oh, I'm going to lick her nipples until they become hard. And no, that's not.
Slowly undress her.
Yeah, that's that's not the thing. That's really not the thing. Also, romance is kind of annoying, and so not describe how you feel about someone. Or when I say someone, I mean
sometimes we have players that have characters that are involved in relationships with other.
Yes, but we are not expecting you to describe in poetic terms what you feel about someone. Neither to say it as a character.
Well, I don't think we ever had a growing romance in our games. Not
I
the
don't
one
think so.
that would be very
Well,
annoying.
not romance. We have there were affairs and dirty stuff, but
yes,
not
but
really.
not that you meet that person and you fall and
Actually,
you
there
start
was. There was.
Kurt.
Yes, there was in St. Cloud. Your friend, she.
Yes, there was a romance. Yes,
That
actually.
one was
Oh,
kind
yes,
of-
that was.
that
But
was
that
kind
but
of,
that is a good example.
Yeah. Well, so it was just there were two characters. One of them was a player character. The other was an NPC. They were, for different reasons, they.
He had returned from the dead.
Yes, he had.
And she was interested with him, and they ended up
not in that
falling
way.
in
She
love.
was interested in the story because
Yes.
she found it an interesting story, and yeah, kind of it wasn't planned, and it wasn't really romantic. Just
And I think
well,
even the part
it
that
could
was
have
more
been.
romantic, like in the end when she said that he disappeared, so she was also going to drown.
Yeah.
She was being over dramatic
Yeah, she
on
was.
purpose.
Yeah, on purpose. Yeah, because this is a.
Yeah.
It's still it has a. She wasn't a role player. She was just a person interested at tried role playing games for the first time, and so she figured this should be like in the movies, which is
Makes sense.
Correct. Yeah.
Especially St.
Yeah, in St. Cloud,
it's a soap
kind of
opera.
a soap opera. So, but even in St. Cloud, we didn't go as soapy as we could have gone.
Well, my character had sex
Even
with the
sometimes,
reverend.
yes. Well, like we said, so those things happen, but we are not expecting you to describe them in any way, not just in a romantic way. We're not expecting you to describe them.
Neither
At
do
all.
you as a game player. As a game master.
Yeah, neither will I, as a game master, describe. Besides saying that it happened or that it's happening.
It is going to happen, and
Yeah,
then
so
fade
basically
to black.
that's it. Yeah, so that's what usually happens. Except there's an exception. When it's so violent, so brutal that it may or so
and
gross.
it depends
yeah,
on the player.
Yeah, it depends on the player. Sometimes, if it is gross enough, like if it involves German porn practices, I may have to describe it because it will be fun.
Especially with, well, let's say we have one specific player that's every time that something completely
Inappropriate.
happens, yes, it's a very inappropriate character. Yes.
Yes, he's definitely one. But it's all lightly. And
Yes,
done
but
in
some
a
people would
light
say
way.
that yes, because the rest of the players they are like a mixture of laughing and being grossed out.
Yeah,
So
well,
yes.
that's
But
good.
yes, it's good. But I know
The
that
purpose
some
is
people
that-
say that but we always play serious. Yes, well, we don't. I
Yeah,
think
we
already
don't play
established
serious.
that.
Yeah, I think so. So if you want to check out how we play, you can just play one of our game sessions, and well, we laugh a lot of the time, and sometimes we laugh in moments that we shouldn't. But that's how we deal with this. It's difficult to I don't know. It's difficult to play horror. I don't even try to scare the players because that's stupid. It won't happen. Sometimes the characters will be in a bad place, but sometimes horror is also funny because we do a kind of bizarre horror, and that's for the players it's funny, but most of the times not for the characters, but for the players it's funny. Sometimes weird things happen, and we laugh about them. So, but that's good. I have no problem with that. I don't think that's. Also, we are playing online, so it's easier to get out of character and start talking about other stuff and all that. Okay, so that's.
But that's another thing that I wanted to say about sex in role-playing games, because we play a lot of horror, and I think sex is part of horror.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about that Kino Cult commercial. It was Mario Bava, right?
Yes, yeah.
Sex and horror, yeah, they go together. Especially, not all horror has to have sex, but there are some genres that are very connected to
And some of them we used a lot, like exploitation.
Yes, Giallo. It's part of exploitation, of course. The slasher movies of the teenagers.
Yes. Even
is also
if it's a diluted kind of sex, you
now
never
it's
see
more
anything. You don't even see boobs now, but you know there's sex there, right?
Yes, they are being targeted because they are screwing.
Yeah, so that's a long history of slasher movies with sex in it. Sometimes no sex at all, but you know that there's going to be sex, and the killer usually doesn't like sex.
But it's a good theme for horror because if you're
it's
being hunted by a monster or a killer while you're having sex, you're even going to be even more vulnerable because you're going to be exposed, and that's one of the things for the slasher film.
And sometimes the monster itself
it can be sexual. Yes.
So like for example Hellraiser, and we have demons called Apostles of Pain that are inspired by Pinhead and his friends, and they are lustful demons, so they will want to have sex with you, and not the good sex, not the romantic sex. It will be kind of rough.
But even in general, I mean, vampires, werewolves, they have connections with.
I'm not so
sex.
sure about I'm not so sure about the werewolves. So
that's for the furries, yes.
It's kind of gross.
I always remind of that girl scene in Dracula where he's in a wolf fucking Lucy.
Yeah, okay, that
it was Lucy, right? Yes.
It was Lucy. But vampires are sexual creatures, and vampirism in Bram Stoker was a allegory. Is that the word?
Yes, I think.
For sexual diseases. So that's obviously sex must be a part of things, and then there are other things like sex as a theme, even without being mentioned the word. But let's say your character has an interest in someone, and that someone asks him to do something, or her, and there's even never mind if there's a sexual tension or if there is a sexual relationship or not, but if you want it to happen and that person asks you for a favor, you'll probably do it. Or for example, in a fantasy setting, your character is an adventurer, there's an interest in a aristocrat, and as an aristocrat will not be involved with a low creature like an adventurer, but maybe if the adventurer completes a quest, that might be an option. So sex, even if it's not really the sex itself, is usually a good way to move things.
And if we're talking about adults playing, of course, that is our case, and why are you going to avoid it? Oh no, but the children, no, there are no children that are.
Yeah, the children are not here, so they are not playing. And obviously, in the books themselves, there's more mentions, even more than in the games themselves, actually, because we have to mention the monsters and the sexual demons like the incubus and succubus. Obviously, there's more references to that in the books, in the adventures, in the scenarios, than when you play them.
Well, I'm happy because I finally one of my characters became
the
succubus.
So that's also a thing when you are preparing what you are going to play. There's a background, and obviously, if you are playing horror, there are certain things that will happen, even if not in game, like rapes. It can't be though. It happens. So it happens. It's a way of creating fear and trauma. Yes. Not traumatizing the players, but traumatizing
for the character,
the NPCs.
Yeah, and for the character. In this case of this particular character, right, that I'm playing for the second time in Sexual Holocaust, I was forgetting her background that was created exactly to show that she's a person that has trauma. And then when I read it, I was like, oh, then I think I can become. It would make sense for this character to join the Apostles of Pain to survive and become one of them.
Which is not common.
No.
Usually, characters do not become.
Unless if they're very inappropriate characters.
But since it happened twice in our games, but that's just because we are weird people. Yeah. Oh, after all, we are real weirdos after all, but not the
not
other kind
edgy,
of weird.
no.
Yeah, not edgy, no, and not blue-haired freaks. Just weird people, but not in that way. So I think I don't know. Have we been explicit enough about this? Explicit enough when talking about sex? Sounds like something else, but no. I hope we can.
Yes, I mean, this is our opinion. Of course, if people go, I don't feel comfortable. But like I said before, I think because we like horror and a lot of giallo and exploitation movies and that has sex always associated, for us, and we're European.
Yes.
That's probably, oh my god, the boobs. We don't have that... I'm missing the word. What some people consider too much, sometimes it's not for us. Exactly.
Puritanical approach to things.
So yes, it can...
In the end, I think it's more like blah blah blah, and then people who will say, oh, I never have sex in my games and I always fade to black and I don't talk about that thing, and then they'll watch movies and there will be sex there, so it's and probably the characters will because people say that are always playing fantasy, fantasy, and I'm sure their characters will go into a brothel and have
maybe not.
But they will not say sex. They just say, I'm going to a brothel. Yeah, okay. Just because I'm not saying the sex word, it doesn't make it different. Basically, it's the same thing.
But I would say sex, yes. Romance, no.
No, romance. No. Definitely not romance. But that's a choice. Okay, if you want to.
Yes, we can have romance, and we had romance. I was forgetting that we had romance.
Yeah, that one. But that's just. I guess we are not romantic people.
No, we love Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we hate that. That's why we are shooting the Cupid in the thumbnail. We are not romantic people.
And that's why we're doing the video the day after, you see.
Oh yeah, okay. So that explains it. And our players are also not romantic, so that's why romance doesn't show up here. It could in another person's game.
We could have a romantic setting.
But
romantic for real.
Yes, like in the 19th century.
Yes.
Yeah. There are romantic characters in one of our, at least one of our scenarios, I think. There are romantic characters.
Yeah, but not romantic enough, yes. I think we should do Red's romance.
Well, if it's wretched, it's not romance anymore.
Yes, but that's for another
yeah, I
time.
think about that. Okay, so that's our, yet again, I don't know how many times we did talk about this. But I'm sure that the people who it wasn't just on Valentine's. I'm sure that the people who had already labeled us as freaks and...
well, most of them are woke, so I don't care. But I do get annoyed when some of them that are not woke.
No, the problem is that the woke I don't care. I could care less. But yeah,
why are you being so edgy?
Yeah, those are the ones that kind of annoy me because hate us for something else.
Yeah, hate us for reasons, not for...
Yeah, okay, I don't like you. You are ugly, or you smell, or something like that.
Your English is rubbish. Your books are stupid.
Yeah, or you use
but
AI.
No, you're trying to be edgy.
Yeah, no.
I actually hate being called edgy.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say that, but yeah, it's because I'm a woman and I am too emotional. I don't know if I can. I need to stop making these jokes, so then people get upset with you.
Yeah, I'm not mistreating her. Yeah, we are not trying to be edgy.
We're just a bit weirdos.
That's just a matter of taste, and we have bad taste. Bad taste. That's why we are doing Ratchet.
Yes, in dark
just
in the dark sense of humor.
Something that we have said lots of times, and let's say it again. Ratchet is not just to play a bunch of villains or very truly disgusting people. Not necessarily. I don't even care about that usually. If what the characters are doing, and since we are, and you can check that in our live plays, since we are playing small campaigns or just adventures, like I can't even call them campaigns. I'm not even caring about the scenes or the experience points. If people are doing,
but it's a bad thing. Oh my God, you're not.
Yeah, we should, but we are, because why bother about experience points if you are playing?
But you expect players to remember, 7. And I think they sometimes do that. My character is greedy, so I need to act greedy. My character is
yeah, I'm expecting that you do your character, you chose your sin or your virtue, because there are virtues as well. You chose them yourself. I believe you chose them because you wanted to play that character, so you play your character as a greedy character. But you don't have to play the character as a greedy character all the time, unless you really are really worried about your experience points and you want. But okay, that's another way of playing. This is meant to give another element to the characters, and you are free to take it as far as you want. A greedy character doesn't have to be greedy all the time. It will be, if you play the character like that, it will be a caricature, not a real character. So if you are greedy, you will be interested in money, but that doesn't mean that you are interested in money all the time. And that's the same thing for a character that is lustful. You don't have to want to fuck all the time. It's just someone that likes to, but it doesn't have to be obsessed with it. Yeah, that character's life doesn't have to be about that, or stealing, or killing, or whatever. So that's the meaning of this. The wretched characters, they are supposed to be not
gray.
Gray, in the gray areas. They are not supposed to be Mrs. and Mrs. Goody Two Shoes, because that's boring. If you want to play them heroic in the usual sense, why not? You can do that. It can be boring as well. It depends. Pure and heroic is no, that's not for me. But okay, if that's your thing, you can do that even in wretched, because the bad guys will still be wretched and much wretcheder than you. So it will still be wretched. But you can play your heroic character here. If you can fit him or her in any of our settings, which might be kind of difficult because most of them are realistic, or at least, but it's not impossible. Let's say in Wretched Epoch you can play a pure and heroic character, I suppose. In Trebellion is probably more difficult because it's a that time is probably you can be a pure and heroic member of one of those nasty parties that well, that would be interesting. That's the thing that would be interesting.
Well, depends, right? If a character is member of the Nazi party at that time, he can consider himself pure and heroic within
that frame.
In those beliefs, and the same thing with a character that was from Italy.
And in the end, well, at that time it was still.
Yes, they still were not in power. So
they were still not killing people indiscriminately. So it was still possible to be kind of a lawful character, lawful evil, maybe. And that's it. Be wretched enough, but not too much, and include sex in your horror adventures or dark adventures, but not describe it. That's not what I'm telling you to do. Not describe it. That's just gross
and silly.
And that's over for today.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.